Alright, so I took out some of this dark blue, but I was actually thinking I wanted to work on the bleached bone parts of this model. Let's just get started on this. So, yeah, let's just get started. It's almost like Lego, the difference between building a Lego set and a Mega Block set or Connects or whatever they call it. Like, such a huge gulf in terms of just the act of building the models are more fun. That's what it seems like, at least. Well, I mean, it is Bandai. They've been doing it for a long time, so they know what they're doing. Bacon, the Ludens kit is well made, but something about it just doesn't seem as entertaining. Yeah, so I wonder if other models from that range, are they going to be similar? Are they going to be is that model representative of the build quality, of the building experience of the modern kits? I don't know if Siang or anyone else in your chat had anything to comment about that. That'd be kind of interesting to find out. Or if it's like, yeah, this is pretty much the general building experience, so if you didn't love this, then you're probably not going to love the rest. I've taken out something. This is actually a liquid paint retarder. It just kind of like, it keeps the paint in a more liquid state for longer. And I've actually transferred it to this glass bottle because I've had this retarder for so long that it's kind of it kind of started to eat away at the acrylic bottle, like the acrylic plastic bottle. So that's why I had to transfer it to a glass bottle here. I'll probably have to get some more at some point. And then I keep it in this extra bottle just for extra protection. And the reason why I'm going to be using this retarder here is that I need to keep this paint flowing while I attempt, keyword attempt, to do some wet blending. So let's try. Let's mix some of this up. Probably need to add some water as well. For most of the time when I'm streaming, I've been doing wet blending, but using only water to thin down the paint. But I think that using a bit of a retarder will probably be better suited for this job, because water kind of, I don't know the proper term, but it kind of like thins out the paint too much, whereas if you use this other thing, it kind of like maintains a bit of the properties of the paint more. Bacon, maybe that's partly because one is a mech and the other is a human. Yeah, that's true. I kind of get what you're saying. Okay, now we'll switch to the other brush and drop my brush. And so wet blending, you're actually just blending onto the model itself with wet paint. That's the general idea. Now, whether I'm going to be doing a good job of that, it's another question. And it seems like you can kind of get away with wet blending on really flat surfaces, but I'm not really going to bother doing it on the smaller areas. Have you seen, there's this like Bandai made this line of Mecha Girl kits where it's like they're like guns. It's funny because I was just I don't know, I think I was in like Night Trap's chat thinking about how like there could be this game about like guns that you turn into mecha girls, and that's exactly what that is. I was like, oh, okay, Bandai actually thought of that already. I'm not a genius. But it's based off of like some TV show. Okay. Okay. We're trying to go down with the dark paint now. Time to look it up. Something like Galgun or something like that. So there's a TV show, and it's live action. It's like real girls, like real actors, and then they can summon or use these tiny little toy guns to battle or something. If it sounds dumb, you're right. It is dumb. But I was looking at the models, and they're pretty dumb too. But I don't know. I was like, this could be the kind of dumb thing that I'm down with. I'm actually not fully decided yet. Is this the right kind of dumb for me? Okay. So, this is the dark color. And now we can take the light color here. I may have put a little too much of that stuff on the blue, the light blue, but let's see. Yeah, as you can see, the paint is still wet. It's kind of what we want. Kinda, I guess. At least I only have 3 of these models to work on. I think what I'll do is I'll take a bit more blue, just a pure blue now. Undiluted. I think that might work. Okay, those are the 2 parts that seem most suitable for a bit of wet blending. So now let's get a bit more of that blue, the lighter blue. Yeah, it sounds like Bandai kind of was caught with their pants down in some respects with this whole mecha girl thing. It seemed like they kind of made a few mecha girl kits, but then Kotobukiya kind of stole their thunder and made superior kits, and that's sort of been the standard now. It seems like Kotobukiya is like the name in the game. They're the best at it. Do you think you'll find yourself buying another mecha girl kit there, Bacon? Or at least, that model might just be the one for now. Also, did you finish that kit? The Ludens? It's just a pure blue. Yeah, you can see how wet the paint is. It definitely would have dried by now if I used it straight out the bottle. Yeah, this is something I need to practice more with too, is using this. I normally don't use this stuff. I just use water. But water tends to, yeah, it tends to split the paint in a way that's not like how you originally would have envisioned using the paint if you're wet blending or anything really, even if you're just kind of using normal layering with thinned down paints. This is actually the artist grade stuff too. This is This is from my art stash, not like my miniature painting collection of stuff. So, yeah, I don't even have the bottle anymore. I probably should find out what this brand was so I can get some more. It's probably Liquitex, actually. Some of them look really good. Which one? Those gun girl things, or something else? Let's do a bit of this wet blending, and we can actually set these colors aside and work on something else. Another part of this model. Again, I keep on saying that I need to work on the eyes, and I don't. So let's do that. We'll work on the eyes, but let me just lay down this base color. This secondary base coat, I guess you could call it. And we won't be wet blending here. We're just gonna... The model, some of the details here is small enough that I think you can get away with some layering for the sake of being fast. The Mecha Girl model kits, yeah. I mean, generally, some of them look really cool. Yeah, I've been watching some videos about them. There's some very elaborate ones, actually, out there. But yeah, the more elaborate ones, they tend to just add a bunch of crap. Like there's like the girl kit, right? And then there's just a bunch of junk like emerging from her back. Really, that's the general pattern for a lot of these things. Which is why I found it kind of interesting that they just made model kits of normal girls, like not mecha girls at all, the ones I had shown you previously. I was like, okay, this is pretty neat because it's just a girl. It's nothing too elaborate. That looked pretty neat. Oh, actually, I just remembered something. Was it last night or yeah, last night I was watching another Studio Ray video where he was he took one of those Mecha Girl kits. Not sure what brand, but then he turned it into a character from Dungeon Fighter Online, that game that's getting a fighting game pretty soon. And it was really impressive. Well, I mean that's I guess that's not surprising because it's Studio Ray, but yeah, he basically took a standard model, one of those girl mechas, and just like what you saw with that GM, he changed so much of it and sculpted so much original stuff to the point where it's basically a brand new model now. And in the case of this, the character that he was recreating from Dungeon Fighter, like he went so far. It was actually more impressive in some ways than what you had seen previously with the GM, because you're dealing with with like an organic figure, right? It's a humanoid figure. You're not dealing with a robot character with very hard edges, so that's very suitable for using plastic hard and plot plate and stuff like that. And brass rods, where it's just everyone really knows how to not everyone, but what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very defined kind of thing at this point. Like there's a lot of documentation as far as how to create and customize your gunpla now at this point. But with this model, again, as I said, he had to recreate the hair. He had to make hair, so he was using like different materials like not plasticine, some kind of sculptor's clay to create the hair, and cloth. He was creating like cloth, and the way that he was able to make the folds of clothing of her skirt and other parts, like the way he was doing it, I was so impressed. I was like, man, this is so awesome. And it's almost like he's done this before. I don't know. Man, what is this guy's background? Because it's just so impressive. Like if all he was able to do was to make super awesome gunpla, right? Like customized gunpla, he would be like, you know, a very impressive person, right? But now he's like kind of with that video, he was getting into sculpting in a more organic way, and yeah, just that was like, holy crap, super impressive. Okay, so there's the first layer of detail for this character, this guy. Okay, well we need to do a bit more work on the chest, on the abs there. Don't want to forget that. Okay. Bacon at that level might as well be a sculptor for a single figure. Uh-oh, second layer time, second layer time. Alright, let me take this opportunity to change up the music a bit. Let's try this out. Actually, let's try this out. Got some ease music. See if the hype of the ease music will get me powered up to see through this project. Okay. It almost seems like when you're using this stuff, when you add in the retarder, I probably would have added less now. Judging by the result. But yeah, it seems brighter, but then as it dries, it kind of gets darker. So I'm probably gonna have to go in with another level, and actually, let's try and add a bit more of this blue here. Definitely gonna have to buy some more blue, I think. We can even try and get lighter. Okay. Yeah, let's just do a second pass here. This blue. And it's almost like you're pushing around the paint because it's taking a little longer to dry, so you can get away with moving it around on the model a bit more, which is good. In that sense, it's a little more like oil paint. Oil paint takes, I don't know, what is it like to truly cure? It's like several weeks, even more. Remember in art college, we had to use oil paint a few times, or it was your option to use oil paint if you really wanted to. And one of my friends was like, yeah, I'm using oil paint. And, you know, we'd have to hand in our projects, and his work would still be wet as he was handing it in, you know, and you'd have to just pile it up. Like everyone's canvas would just be stacked on top of each other, and he was so worried about that because it was yeah, his paint was wet still. And I remember there was all sorts of tricks that he was trying to get it to dry faster, like put it in front of a space heater. But I don't think it works like that. I don't think heat is the factor here. It's a matter of time for like whatever the chemicals involved in the oil paint to cure. I think oil paint is pretty awesome to work with. It's just that there's a lot of risks involved, I guess. Is that what I want to say? It's just the results are really nice, and it's actually nice to work with in terms of the results. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth it in terms of, you know, the health, the costs to your health potentially. I'm wondering now if it may have been a good idea to shake that retarder. I'm not sure. Good old ease music. I'm actually behind on my ease games. Back in the PSP era, I was pretty caught up. I was fairly well caught up with the series and the franchise on release, and the Vita as well. But at a certain point, yeah, I kind of fell off. So now I think I'm like 2 to 3 games behind. But it's okay. I'll get around to that someday. It's not a big deal. But I do love the Night Trap. Nice color. Is that the old Festering Blue? You know what? I mean, you can check, you can cross-reference. This is Kaldor Sky. I think we do have the old model of Festering Blue still, but I think Kaldor Sky might be more along the lines of Lightning Blue. I don't know. You can look it up, Night Trap. I'm not actually sure. If you're not busy playing Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, Lost Ark. Okay. Faceplate, which we are going to do the eyes. Keep on saying that. Yeah, okay, so let's do the eyes. So yeah, here's an example of a model with just like the dark base coat, right? The base coat of Cantor Blue. This is Cantor Blue, and then we kind of go up like a secondary base coat, I guess. Another layer of Kaldor Sky, and I think that looks pretty nice. And we'll go up again, adding a bit more light color to that. But let's actually, I just realized that I have to paint the underside too, so let's do that. Let's get some of this blue. Let's mix that up. There's that ease music, baby. Get you hyped. And I'm wondering about the underside of this model. How much should I bother even painting just because it's the underside? But let's not be lazy. Let's do a little bit of shading and highlighting, I guess. Cantor Blue is Regal Blue in the old planes. Okay. I thought it might have been lightning or something like that. Regal blue, okay. Yeah, so I guess we don't actually have festering, like the equivalent of festering? Unless... Yeah, what's the equivalent of festering nowadays? I think we looked this up, but I guess we forgot now. Okay, let's get this. Just try and do a little bit of highlighting here. Again, this is the underside, so I don't know how much attention I should pay to the underside, but let's try and do a bit of the detail. And it's actually a little awkward to get these angles here because the huge plastic part is in the way, the huge clear plastic stand. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Do you have that like reference image just saved to your phone? Because it's a pretty handy thing to have. You know, if we're ever at any hobby shop, we can then just pull it out and immediately figure out what we need from any brand. I kind of wish that a lot of these hobby stores carried that brand. What is it called? It's like Memory 45 or Memory 85 or something. It's the brand that is supposed to really emulate the old Citadel paints. In fact, I think they bought the factory where the old paints were made. Nostalgia 80, 85, something like that. And yeah, I'm curious to try those out. I'm going to guess that they're close, but not exactly like the old paints. It'd be kind of fun to try out. But yeah, at this point, I think you can only just order them online. Unless you live in the UK and could probably go to some local stores that sell it. It is UK based, I'm pretty sure. Festering blue is not on it. Wow, how crazy is that? There's no there's no modern equivalent to festering blue? What the hell, dude? What is someone supposed to do if they really relied on that color? And I do like that color. Well, yeah, at that point, I guess you're just gonna have to use the Nostalgia 89 paints, or maybe you can source some of the original, like what do they call it? New old stock, kind of like how people are hunting down Jordans now. Or no, Kobe's. People are trying to hunt down Kobe's. Get that new old stock. There's like a bunch of NBA players that have like sourced enough Kobe's to see them throughout the rest of their career. I think DeMar said that. He has enough Kobe's. Anyways, whenever there's money involved, I'm sure that the Bryant estate, his wife and kids, and Nike can sort something out. There's enough money to be made for everyone. It's just that it's a scarce item for now, and then give it enough time, they come back, everyone will start hunting him down again. Some forums say that Coat d'Arms might have a similar color, but that post is from 2008. Yeah, I think Coat d'Arms is still around. I'm pretty sure they're still around, so yeah, that's encouraging, I guess. Get this out of here. Wonder why GW changed their paints anyways to start with. Like, change the factories. I mean, they had... People seem to be happy with what they had already, and then they went and changed it. Was it costing them too much? They were too good quality. I don't know. And I wonder about those P3 paints too, seeing as how they that one store that we went to was selling them on like pretty much on clearance. I wonder if they're kind of getting out of the paint game. Are they not making paint anymore? P3? Because yeah, those were actually pretty good. I don't mind them. And I do seem to recall that like some of the other stores that we've been to in the past were selling them cheap off as well. They seem decent, but maybe they're just not popular. People just rather buy the brands that they know. Alright. Alright. Bacon, what's up? He's back. He's back. Second coat. How many coats of top coat do you put on your models there, Bacon? Okay, so let's get a drink of water. Kind of running out. 2 coats? Nice. And that's enough. Oh, 3 coats. I didn't look at that properly. 3 coats. Let's do a little bit of cleanup. I noticed that I've made a mess. Let's use a sponge here. Kind of have to do a bit of cleanup. Sponge. Made a mess. I'll probably make a bigger mess later, but for now, let's just clean this up. Pardon the shaky cam for a moment. This cutting board is quite well used, and the first few streams where I was painting, I did not clean this thing up, and it was so messy and dirty. And yeah, I kind of figured I should probably clean this up if I'm going to be streaming. It's still kind of beat up and stuff, but you know, that's just how it is. I mean, it is a cutting board at the end of the day. It's gonna get beaten up eventually. It's gonna get cut up. All right. Bacon, I had a minor incident, dropped one of the pieces. Uh-oh. I was spraying in the garage, so I got a bit of dirt on it. How do you clean it up then? How did you address this incident? How did you fix that? Night Trap just finished a quest in Lost Ark where you sieged a castle. Ooh, that sounds cool. Bacon going hard in that game. When's the last time you played DQ? Oof. For Night Trap? Yeah, I bet it's been quite a while since he played DQ. The DQ community misses you, Night Trap. Bacon got a microfiber cloth and wiped it off. Sprayed it again. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I've definitely dropped some models while I was like spray primering my models. I've definitely done that before, which is not good. Drop them while I'm spraying them, and they get some dirt on them. But yeah, just kind of wipe it off. Normally, when I'm spraying my models, I try and affix them to something, you know, using like double-sided tape or something similar to that. Just getting in here and doing the eyes. Double-sided tape. Sticky tack to them to like a block of wood. Or I know you've got those alligator clippers, and Oh, gotta thin this down. And that like corrugated cardboard thing. Okay. Not sure if that was the right way to do it. Well, I mean, if the paint, if you got some dirt on it and you wiped it off, and the top coat, like it didn't disturb the coating of spray that you did, like it's still kind of even, then that should be fine. And then you just hit it with the spray. Yeah, it should be fine as long as it's even. Okay, well, that's a little imbalanced, but we can fix that. That's why it's always a good idea to do the eyes first. You can always fix it later. Night Trap, I'm at the largest hub of the world so far. Now I have a stronghold, really? For my base of operations, and that's where I'll stop and then continue with DQ11. Okay. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that likes to... Lately, well, yeah, when I'm playing games, I was kind of switching between a few games at the same time, and I don't know, I feel like I didn't mind doing that because it kept my sanity. Like, I was able to change things up and get a change of pace. So you still... I don't see a problem if you want to continue to play Lost Ark just a little bit every now and then on stream. Just gonna shake this pixie pink for the eyes of my dude. Bacon, that's why I decided to put Lost Ark on hold. I really have to finish other stuff first. So that game must be really, like, it must be really appealing. Like, I can see that it's a fun game, of course. But the way you guys talk about it makes it sound like if you don't do everything else that you should be doing first, you'll just get sucked into the vortex of Lost Ark, and there's no return. Make it sound like there's no return, there's no escape, no escape. Okay. Let's get these eyeballs done. I did notice that I kind of had some variation in the tones of the eyes, so I kind of have to paint some shades into the eyes. There you go. There you go. The white, there's a bit of white around, and we'll just go back with the dark paint and paint around that. Make it nice and tidy. Now we can introduce a little bit of dark blue. We can, yeah, oh yeah, you guys can see what I'm doing. Maybe it's maybe that's good to keep the palette on screen, so you guys can see what I'm doing when I'm mixing paint. Just doing that off screen, and just gonna put some dark paint at the farthest edges of the eye. That's probably good enough. Yep, I think that's okay. Bacon, what soundtrack is this? If you're asking about this current song, Desert of Despair, Falcom Sound Team JDK. I'm not sure what game that's from, but yeah, that's Desert of Despair. Possibly Ease 7, because I seem to recall this one. Night Trap, playing a game that's not an RPG would be fine, but Lost Ark and DQ are RPGs. Oh, I get you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of getting caught up between two RPGs, two big big fat RPGs, yeah, I definitely wouldn't do that. Okay, here we go. So now, yeah, we did the eyes on that guy. The rest of these ones do not have helmets, so we can go back to the blending. Bacon, I was thinking, is very ease-like. Yeah, definitely. It's all ease. It's from the. You have this too, right? The Ease 7 Anniversary Collection soundtrack. It has like a huge soundtrack filled with all the Ease songs from going back to the first game up till what was then the most recent game. I think you have that. Let's make sure there's no dust. Okay. And actually, let's get some more of this blue. Yeah, you have that? Okay. Bacon, although I have a feeling I'll be playing Lost Ark for a while, even though I want to go back. Yeah, with Elden Ring coming up, unless Elden Ring sucks, I really do think that there's a possibility, not that it'll suck from like a gameplay standpoint, but I really do think that there's a strong possibility that it'll be buggy and glitchy, and maybe to the point where it's like, I don't even know if I want to play this game now. Like, maybe not Cyberpunk level, but yeah, it's possible. I mean, the game was delayed. It's a highly anticipated game. And I don't really know how FromSoft is going to be able to cope with a game that's a multi-platform release. What's coming on how many different platforms? Let's see, to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and then if you consider the Xbox S and X, Series S and X, another console, like different consoles and then PC, that's a lot of platforms. And yeah, I just keep on thinking about the fact that it's an open world game. It's kind of freaking me out. Goro, I went to the Warhammer store just now at Montreal's Eaton Center. Wow. Were you harassed by the people at the store? Like, hey, guy, have you seen this stuff before? That's what they always say to people that aren't regulars. It's like, hey, have you seen this stuff before? And then I have to tell them, yes, yeah. I used to play a lot. I used to paint a lot. I'm just here to buy some things. But actually, they're pretty nice most of the time. They're pretty cool, pretty nice. So it was the official Warhammer store then, Goro? Oh, hey, what's up, by the way, Goro? So you're out and about shopping in Montreal? That sounds fun. This is pretty thin down, this paint. I feel like I'm pushing around just water. Goro in the house. Should have told them, do you sell Game Boy? Actually, you know what? At the Games Workshop store, the one that used to be our local store, yeah, there would always be, especially around Christmas time, there'd always be someone coming into the store, usually a parent or something, being like, do you have PlayStation? Do you have Crash Bandicoot? Do you have Tekken? And then the people that work there have to always kind of be like, no, we don't sell that kind of stuff. You should check out Electronic Boutique. That's what it was called back then. Check out the Electronic Boutique, eh? It's a little streaky there. I think we can fix that up if I add a bit more Cantor Blue, Caldor Sky. Keep on getting these words, these phrases mixed up. Goro almost got an art book, and the guy there started going into the books and the lore, and I had to get out. May go back for the book. Yeah, I think if you're just yeah, I exactly know the feeling. I've witnessed it many times. You might as well just cut them off and just tell them, like, listen, I'm here to just look at this art book. I don't really care too much about your lore. You know what I'm saying? You might as well cut them off and save their breath for the teenagers or whatever. I know that I'd appreciate it if I worked there, and someone would just tell me, like, you don't have to sell me a bill of goods, man. Just it's cool. Don't waste your breath. But maybe that's because I used to work at the Art Gallery of Ontario with their membership thing, and that's all I did was telling people about the programs and all of that stuff that was going on at the art gallery. And I actually, we had to read from a script. We were basically telemarketers. We were like a slightly more acceptable kind of a telemarketer, because we weren't trying to fix your duct cleaning or some bullshit like that. But anyways, if someone on the phone would go like, every once in a while someone would be like, oh, you know what, it's okay, we we're already members, or we don't intend to renew our membership, or we've already renewed our membership, blah blah blah. If someone just cut me off and just said that, I'd be like, cool, thanks, next guy, gotta call someone else. Don't make me waste my breath. I'm like, I'm here 6 hours or whatever, like freaking on the phone, killing my voice. If this guy's gonna spare me my voice, thanks, next caller. I'm streaming you to a restaurant on my phone? Is there a way to stream it on like the restaurant's TV? Is that what you mean? That would be pretty funny. Hello everyone in Montreal on the restaurant. That would be funny. But I'm assuming you mean you're just watching it on your phone. Yeah. Oh yeah, on your phone, as you said. That'd be funny. Yeah, where's the weirdest place that I've watched Bacon stream or something? I don't know. Can't really seem to recall anything too unusual at the moment. Night Trap, when I work there, we get that a lot. Yeah, people cutting you off. Bacon, I remember parents asking that back when we used to chill at Town Center, yeah. Goro, he got into the back, into the Black Altar or something, and some weekend event. Yeah, all that shit. Some weekend event. Like, dude, no thanks. I was considering buying this art book, but your heavy-handed sales tactics are actually off-putting, and so I shall take my leave. I'm going to purchase Star Wars figures now. Good day to you, sir. I'm into Star Wars Legion. I'm into War Machine. Those are all competitive competitor games to Games Workshop, by the way. There's a Star Wars game called Star Wars Legion. There's another game called War Machine and War Hordes or Warma Hordes. Those are all competitors to GW, but they're definitely not as popular. GW is definitely the market leader. Okay, so yeah, we can kind of get away with this. Just practicing my blending, blend. That looks good. And we do this again. I think it's better to blend in like smaller sections rather than do like multiple surfaces at a time. This is what I'm discovering. I'm discovering this live on stream because, like I said, I'm not really the best at doing this stuff. Wet blending. I know it's probably a good idea to have two brushes. That's why I've got two brushes here. Third layer time, Bacon? Oh, the third and final spray layer. Exciting, the tension. Goro and I found a childhood comic book store called Captain Quebec yesterday and got the Moon Knight Omnibus. Wow, so they're still around after all these years? That's actually really impressive for a comic book store, right? Don't you think? That's pretty cool, man. I'd be pretty excited. Did you tell anyone that was there, like, hey, yeah, I used to come here as a kid? Well, maybe the people that work there won't even, probably are entirely different staff, but still, that's pretty neat. Lively too? That's cool. So, I actually don't know this. Goro, do you speak French? Or do you understand French? Or those places, like, it wasn't really a big deal, you could speak English? Because even when we're in Ottawa, there's I've noticed that there's more French-speaking people. I mean, it figures, right? But yeah, in fact, some places in Ottawa, it's almost like the default language is French, and the secondary, language on the menu is English. It starts off in French, and then yeah, the menu will have like English in small text, and that's Ottawa. So I don't know about in Montreal. Just gonna do so. Let's take a look here. Still drawing the some of the parts of the liquid that I've added, the liquid retarder. It's still drawing. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but whatever. Figure it out later. We can put this. The old man was great and was friendly. Oh wow, so someone did remember. Someone was there from like a long time ago. That's cool. Goro, no, I did terrible in French. I did as well. Did very terrible in French. Goro, I like French, and I wish I spoke it. Yeah, that'd be cool. Remember not too long ago, had some visiting family members from the States, from the U.S., and we went to Ottawa and we did a tour of Parliament. But unfortunately, the tour, like, you have to get these little like reservation tickets for the tour. And unfortunately, all of the English reservations, the tour comes in 2 different languages. The English tour was all taken up, and we had been there fairly early in the morning, but yeah, it was all sold out. So we had to do the tour in French. And in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, well, I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. Maybe I'll understand like 60%. Maybe I'll, 50%, 60% of what they're talking about, right? I took French class for several years. I should know. The tour begins, and she is speaking so quickly. She's speaking so quickly in French. I was lost. I had no hope. I was like, huh? What are you talking about? But at the very least, you could ask questions, and she would answer them in either language that you preferred. So that was good, at least. But yeah, that was like kind of like a wake-up call. Like, bro, you don't know French. You know, your compulsory lessons in in grade school and in high school, they don't really cut the mustard. It's not enough. I think you had to do 1 or 2 years of French in high school, I think. And it's just like anything in school, like it's just schoolwork, so you don't really take it seriously. It's just something that you have to do, but it's not really something that you're personally invested in. That's kind of how I approached a lot of shit at school, at least. Just another thing at school. Ooh, I've noticed I'm getting some blue paint on the face, but that's okay. The face will be just about the last thing I paint, so we can kind of go over it. So, how's the blending here? It seems like this guy's a lot brighter. We kind of have to work our way up to that point. But we're on the right track. Possibly more subtle here. Could be getting a more subtle gradient effect on this guy, which isn't entirely a bad thing. I mean, Wooly and all of those two best friends guys, they live in Montreal, and their podcast is completely in English. And it sounds like where they worked when Wooly and the guys, when they worked at Ubisoft. Yeah, it sounded like it was pretty much a straight up English speaking work environment. That's what they made it sound like. But they're all capable of speaking French too, I've noticed. Okay, how are we doing here? Pretty okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. I've decided that I'm only going to be picking out a few details of this model with the accent colors, with the complementary colors. Gonna stick with a lot of blue. For one thing, it's a little easier for me, which I like. It's a little easier and faster, and yeah, lately I've kind of been more of the mindset that it's a little better to kind of have a model that's more harmonious rather than like picking out every single detail with a different color. Okay. This soundtrack is really crazy. It's really something else. Those guys at Falcom, they really go at it 100% with their music, their soundtracks, especially the boss battle music. It just sounds like they're throwing everything into it. Okay, looking okay. This sounds like the kind of music, like overworld music for a Ys game. This sounds like overworld music. So Capcom has a countdown. Sure, some of you guys might be aware of this already, but they've launched a countdown website, and as of today, I think they're on day 5 or 6 of this countdown. It's a 7-day countdown, and we don't really know what this is counting down to, but there's a strong belief that we're going to be seeing very soon the reveal of Street Fighter 6, which is pretty exciting. A new Street Fighter game, they don't happen too often. Just about once a generation now, starting with Final Fantasy, starting with Street Fighter 4. We've been getting a new Street Fighter every generation, starting with Street Fighter 4. So a new one with 6 would be pretty exciting. I'm kind of hoping that it's going to really look like a big step in graphics. That's kind of the first thing everyone will notice and appreciate about a new game is the graphics. And as much as I liked 5, I feel and 5 is a better looking game than 4 in some respects. I don't think it was like a titanic jump in visual quality. And that's what I'm kind of hoping to see, is something that'll make you go, whoa. Graphical jump in quality. Hopefully. Okay, so let's try and wick away some of this pooling up of the paint. Let's try and just with a wet brush kind of get some of it off, because it is taking a while to dry, and I'm getting a little weirded out by that. Again, I don't use this liquid retarder too much, and this stuff can eat away at plastic. I don't think that's something I need to concern myself with at the moment, but at the same time, it's probably a good idea to take off some of the excess. Possible that it might dry shiny too. I wonder if that's something that could happen. Well, you can always hit it with a matte spray. So we've got one more to do here, but let's take a little break now. Get some water. Let me get some water. Do I have a drink here? Oh, I do. Got some coffee. Let's get some coffee.